Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. First run after the loss of the streak. A little bit disappointed. Devastated is not the right word. Disappointed. But we went out on our own terms, and honestly, well, first off, here's the seed. SPGY4S4M on our Samson run here. Honestly, that's life, you know? We should step on this, I think, as long as it's not an XL floor. As soon as we had missing no, there was the chance for something like that to have happened. What bums me out is that there was a way out of that situation, but the thing that I think you have to remember, I'm sure there's going to be some people who are like, here's how you would have done it, and that's fine. You know, that's... Backseat gaming has such a bad rap that even just saying the terms backseat gaming is going to annoy some people, but there's some validity to it, you know? Like, people always talk about, oh, I hate backseat drivers. But sometimes, you're in the passenger seat and you're scared shitless and you're just like, get out of the way, there's a freaking car in the way, you know? So you gotta weigh the pros and the cons. Sometimes backseat driving is, feels necessary in the moment. But anyway, the thing I think you have to remember, though, if I'm gonna defend myself at least slightly, is that it's not like we found ourselves in a situation where I could have taken a lot of time to come up with a solution, at least not without pausing the game. But we had marked, oh my god, combined with Ipecac, essentially we were hurting ourselves at like 1 heart every 3 seconds or something like that. Not a fantastic situation to be in. Ooh, careful, buddy. So, you know, what happened. At least I didn't go out like a punk bitch. I didn't just die on the first floor or something like that. I died on the chest after a good run. You know, it feels good. It's like... we left a good-looking corpse, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We lived a full and happy life. Either way, we're headed down here, and we're started on another streak, or we're started on another bit of fun gameplay, at the very least. And so far, so good. Samson, little bit less than starting HP, as a result of experimental treatment. What did I learn from the streak? I don't know. Ooh, actually, our speed was already sort of bad. So to take it even one level further down is a little scary, but what did I learn from the streak? I learned we could play our game, have fun, and still, you know, make some progress here. And I think that's good. I would like to amp up the zaniness in terms of the commentary, though. The thing, you get to like a 60-something win streak, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, all of my commentary is focused on how to, you know, win this run. It doesn't have to be like that. Now we can focus on, you know, talking some bullshit, like fuck, marry, kill. Sorry, content guidelines. Fudge, marry, murder. Fudge, marry, murder. My favorite chicken restaurant in the Canadian Northeast. Oh, all of Canada's east is the Northeast. We lost our spirit heart, which is bad. There is a little bit of, like, post-streak hangover, I've got to admit. Not to just make everything about, you know, the streak that just ended, but there's a little bit of post-streak hangover sometimes in Isaac, so I gotta try to avoid that. I don't mind if we lose the run, but I at least want to play well and true to my heart, like the 98 Degrees song on the Mulan soundtrack that also features his excellent Stevie Wonder. So we have Magic 8 Ball, which has given us a 2 of diamonds. Not immediately relevant. We will take Gimpy. Is this a good decision? No, it's not. But we can get into our error room now. And by error room, I mean mob trap room. And by mob trap room, I mean boss trap room. Let's see what we get here. We have a 2 of diamonds, so we don't need much. That's going to take us to 12 cents. If we doubled it. And that's going to take us to 7, which would take us to 14. If we buy a bomb, we only need to get like a cent and a bit back to make it worth our while. No, we don't. We need to get 3 cents. Your math's a little messed up there. We should have thrown down the judgment in the interim period as well. That's fine. Chaos is great. Recycle is great. Or restock, I should say. The real, you know, money is to get both of them simultaneously. With 2 of diamonds, I'd say we have a chance. Figured, why not? We have Bloody Lust. Let's get a little extra damage. And let's grab these. Hoping for... Bombs are fine. Better than fine, even. But we need, money if we're going to accomplish our true goal, and there's a half red heart, thankfully. We are low on HP, and that's, you know, par for the course. Also, we should hurt ourselves whenever possible because we have a chance to get HP out of it, like gimpy HP out of it. So I think that this is the avenue that we take to get ourselves out of this. Gotta say, it feels nice to be playing a character that we understand as well, instead of one that we have to make up on the fly. I love Eden, and if I could only have one character in the game, it would probably be Eden, because every run's like a random run. However, it is also nice to get a little bit of consistency in your everyday life. You know what I mean? This run right now is actually really dangerous, mostly because I've not gained HP. I've exclusively lost it. But that doesn't mean that we're bereft of chances to pull that back. Might as well walk over here. At least we're getting damage that we'll probably not use on this floor, because I doubt we'll do the big room. But if we want to do the big room, we can do the big room. I think you throw down this judgment. It's a demon judgment. I don't even think you play it at this point. I think you just blow it up. We want to get to 30 cents, and I will, you know, do whatever I have to do to our donation machine to make that happen. So grab that. That takes us up there to 19 cents. We'll go grab 2 of diamonds, and we're going to get restock, and then we're going to get chaos. And I think you just get restock. You get chaos first, restock second. Because it's not like we're buying anything else on this floor anyway. Get an Algiz rune, which is actually really good. No speed down. I can see forever. Okay, now we're going to be doing a little bit of exploration to try to find our second secret room, and then we're going to be leaving this floor. Okay, this is fine. It's actually better than fine. Like, it's a really good situation, especially with Lazarus Rags. All we need to do is not, you know, royally fuck it up. And if we can do that, we should be 100% okay. No second secret room. Second secret room? Second secret room. Okay. Just remember, our damage is going to be worse on the next floor. Several pills. No speed downs. Range down. Not that bad. Telepills, fine. Paralysis. Pheromones. Wow, just like no pills that are worth anything, but that's okay. You might be saying, why don't you go back and get that money? Well, why don't you go back and mind your own dang business, Mom? What I do with my life is my business. It's my life. Do whatever I want to do. But, I don't want to do that, because the bomb, I think, could catch us, because our speed is really low here. And our damage is actually fairly bad now as well. So, I mean, I'm not relishing our situation so much, but, I keep going back and forth. Oh, this run's not bad, this run's really good, this run's not good, this run's really bad. But, I mean, the answer, as with many things in life, not all things, but many things in life, it lies somewhere in the middle. People, I think, have an inherent... rational adults, I think, have an inherent bias towards a balanced viewpoint. But that is a bias and perhaps a fallacy in and of itself. I'm not trying to suggest I'm smarter than, you know, the average adult. I'm just trying to suggest that, you know, I try to identify my own biases wherever it serves me, I suppose. And I think that people are always like, you know, like all issues, there's 2 sides to it. But there's not really 2 sides to every issue. Like, for example, if you think that black jelly beans are the tastiest jelly bean, there's not 2 sides to that issue. Except to say that there's a right side, which is that any other jelly bean is better, and then there's a wrong side, which is that, you know, black jelly beans are not poison. You might say you know, this is, there's some logical fallacies in and of itself there. Sure, that's true. But does it matter? I would say no, Diocletian. Northern Lion, did you try to name drop a Roman emperor, and you chose Diocletian over one of the more common ones because you thought it would lend you more street creed? Street creed! With arms wide open, y'all. Street Creed would be a great band. Also, Assassin's Street Creed doesn't really work. If I had just one street, only one boulevard, I hope it's Main Street, next to the Shard. I don't know why it has to be specifically in London, England, but, you know. Ah, that was our Eternal Heart, which is bad, but does it count as losing a red heart? Like taking red heart damage? I don't think so. We're gonna have to use the Algiz rune. The only thing is, if possible, I would rather use the Algiz rune second. I would rather use it against our second boss to guarantee us the victory here. Oh, right, we have Chaos, so that's really good. Satanic Bible is huge here. And then Polycephalus is like exactly the same boss fight almost, all over again. So we'll use Algiz. I hope we have a deal with the Devil Chance. Got Tammy's head. I'm my own worst enemy, I'll admit. I'm probably going to take Tammy's head to leave this floor, but I'm going to ignore it for now. We'll pick it up, hopefully, when we have several extra Spirit Hearts to rock with. But for now, this is really like, you know, we're using our fly to do whatever we can here. Our fly in the occasional tier that does more than 0 damage. But, I mean, to bring it back to the streak temporarily, I know there's going to be people who are bummed out. The streak is good for business. It drums up attention, but, you know, when it ends, it ends. And I think it's better to just end it than, end it naturally than... And be true to my feelings on it, as opposed to just being like, oh god damn it, this game is so good, Binding of Isaac episode 509, the game fucked me, and then a picture of me with, like, my head in my hands in the thumbnail, right? Like, it's a video game, and I'm not that upset. I'm actually happier with that loss than I have been with some of my wins, because I feel like we played well and lost anyway. It's like, if you're the 3rd fastest man in the world, are you that pissed that you lose a sprint to Usain Bolt? You're like, well, how can I be mad? I was born around the same time as, like, one of the all-time greatest sprinters. Am I really gonna be like, well, thanks a lot, Planet Earth, you really fucked me on this one? Like, that's Isaac. The only thing or not the only thing, but one of the things that makes Isaac engaging is that there's always the chance for a loss. If it was just, you know, let's turn on the game and win absolutely every single time, that would be boring. In my opinion. We're at 11 minutes here. Theoretically, there's nothing that says we can't make boss rush. We shouldn't die. There's no reason to die here. I mean, we have Lazarus Rag, but feels more sensible to come back. We should use that. It feels more sensible to come back and become Lazarus than it does to, like, just use it for no reason, or little reason. You get the small luck upgrade, maybe, but not really, you know, super worth it, in my opinion. On the bright side, you know, every little bit of damage we take here does give us a little bit of extra damage as well. Every little hit we take is damage. Every little item turns me on, except they actually take away my life force. I would like to finish this sting song. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm recording this like 20 minutes after I lost the streak, and it's just like the commentary feels instantly unlocked and zany again. I don't know what causes it, but I'm happy about it, you know? I love the streak, and I would go back to it in a heartbeat if I could, you know, turn back time, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell, but I feel like I have the ability to be more unhinged right now, which is a good thing unless you're a Magic the Gathering set. I think this is a secret room. Well, we're not really generating as many demon hearts as I was hoping here, but maybe that's because I keep running into enemies. In my defense, our damage is bad, so I think that running into enemies is actually like... Well, not running into them, but hitting them with the fly is actually, like, relatively sensible, as long as we just don't fuck it up as badly as we've been fucking it up. Literally, like, the worst timing to find this room, but thanks to restock... Actually, no, it's not, because we can just keep buying Spirit Hearts. And we could go buy some more if we wanted to, but I was thinking, like, oh, we're not gonna get Demon Hearts because we don't have, like, our battery charge is 1 away, but... Doesn't matter. We're still, by the way, looking for 2 item rooms, so I'm not gonna, you know, sign off on this being a shit floor until we actually, you know, find the true bounty that lies within. And I'm not talking about the quilted picker-upper, if you're from North America and understand that reference because you watched a lot of The Price is Right as a kid. Guppy's tail. Big, huge if true. 99 bombs. Good enough. Not an immediate, enormous helper, but big enough to be excited about. And we're roughly on pace for boss rush. Roughly on pace for boss rush, although probably a little bit behind schedule when you consider that this floor should have vaulted us a little bit ahead of it, but we could use a bomb for a key, but I'm going to get a move on here. And I'm also going to take Guppy's Tammy's head. Guppy's Tammy's head. You're familiar with this item. And the reason I'm taking it is because I like it more than Satanic Bible. Satanic Bible is a great item. It's really great if you're a baby back bitch who can't handle the game and you decide that you want to put it in easy mode. There, I said it. Instead, we're going to take Tammy's head, which is an item for triple OG status Street Creed guys like myself. We have an XL floor on the depths, which gives us a pretty good chance to get boss rush, I think. By the way, I'm being like a little facetious when just a little facetious when I say that Satanic Bible is easy mode. You know, the object of the game, for most people, usually myself included, is to win. I've got nothing against using Satanic Bible. I've used Satanic Bible on many occasions, and I've typically enjoyed my results with said item. But the older I get, and by the older I get, I mean the dumber I become, the more I appreciate DPS items, especially on a run where we are like very much left wanting for DPS. This run is so bad from a damage standpoint right now. Plenty of ways to get out of that, by the way, thanks to the fact that we are Samson. Especially with Gimpy, like a blood bank is very valuable for us, although we won't get one on this floor because I spent all my money. And we have unlimited bombs as well, or effectively almost unlimited bombs. Two of spades, just pop. Bombs are key. Alright, now we don't have unlimited bombs, but it's still pretty good regardless. I'm going to check our curse room because guppy items are big. Even with chaos, you know, I think you still want to check. Any item would be nice. Pheromones, paralysis, hematemesis, full health. We'll take pheromones. But yeah, like by and large, I just like DPS. I like DPS more than safety. I'm a thrill seeker only in video games. In real life, I don't seek thrills at all. And it's probably been like a year since I talked about this in videos, but let me stand up for all my, you know, normcore buddies out there. I understand, you know, especially if you're a young adult, there's a lot of pressure to be quote-unquote extreme. Hey, bro, you want to go skydiving? No? You want to go on a roller coaster? Whoa, why don't you live your life? You know, I disagree, and I mean this sincerely, even though there's a little twinge of joking here. I hate the notion that we have, and we've accepted as a society. Let me also preface this by saying, we have larger problems as a society than this in particular, but there's just a little pet peeve. That living your life, you know, with a sense of controlled danger is the true way to live your life. Don't let me tell you you shouldn't skydive. If you get value from skydiving, if you love going on, you know, tall roller coasters, by all means. I think that's awesome. I'm happy you found something. I mean, obviously a lot of people enjoy them. They exist and, you know, make a ton of money. And that's not, I don't mean that in a negative way where some people go, ooh, make a ton of money. Must mean you think it's a bad thing. No, it's quite the opposite, you know. The more fun there is on planet Earth, sweet. I think that's probably a net good. But stop, if you got a friend who's like, hey, have you seen Mike Nichols' 1967 classic film, The Graduate? And then you, like, hey, bro, you want to go to an amusement park? Oh, actually, I was thinking I would look at the collected works of Werner Herzog in despair that I will never create anything as grandiose as that. Well, you know what? Let him live his life. Don't say things like, dude, you gotta live a little. Live a little. Why do you have to feel like you're dying in order to live a little? Like, I already appreciate life. I don't need to jump out of a plane and be like, my body thought I was dying. Now everything in my life is all of a sudden in an order that makes sense to me. Like, I'm already not prone to things that are disruptive to... Oh, that was really bad. Are disruptive to me. You know, I don't take illicit narcotics. I don't have destructive tendencies. I'm like, sit at home. I do my job, and I, you know, do some computer programming, and then I listen to podcasts at night. You know, it's routine, and I know routine scares some people, but I love it. I don't need to go up in an airplane and pay some blazed 21-year-old to strap himself to me so he can get the parachute out in time, you know? That is dicey. Polyphemus is great here, by the way, but I'm a little scared about the overall chances on this run. And you know what? Even that was too far. Again, if you want to do that stuff, that's fine. I resist the notion. You always hear, it's the same like if you're a quiet person, which I have been at some points in my life. People always go, well, so-and-so is being really quiet. Yo, you're not helping. You know, you're drawing attention to an issue, and you're not probably doing it intentionally, but you're being not really like a cool dude right now. You're being kind of a shithead. So stop doing that. But the same thing goes, you know, hey, like, I don't really, like, this is me speaking from personal experience. I don't really like roller coasters. I fly all the time, which is basically just a controlled roller coaster. But I understand, you know, a roller coaster is designed to elicit adrenaline, and a plane is designed to get you from place to place without dying. So it's like, I don't really have a problem until people go like, you know, you're not gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but the roller coaster elicits terror, which is a feeling I don't enjoy, although I understand that some people do. So I resist the notion of quote unquote live a little. But basically what I'm getting at is if you're a thrill seeker, this isn't about you, okay? This is about my buddies out there who are like, I'd rather read the collected works of Jane Austen than go to Canada's Wonderland. Like, yeah, dude. Don't let the man drag you down because of your beliefs, okay? By the way, this is like the first time in my adult Isaac career, since the release at least of Rebirth, and I'm not misspeaking there, that I'm actually excited to have gotten 2 HP upgrades on the depths that may have actually just saved the run or given us a much better chance to win at least. So, amazingly, we not only got to boss rush in time, but we fought Krampus and got to boss rush in time as well. I mean, I like sad bombs, but I think we choose to do nothing here. But it's good to be back. Let's head down to the next floor. This actually has the potential to be a pretty tricky run. All I'm saying is that thrill-seeking's cool, but why does it have to be the default, I guess? What's wrong with just reading the book? You know, maybe that's part of the reason. I'm not saying society's bad. Planet Earth, for the most part, is probably like as good as it's ever been. Not demonstrably worse than it's ever been. Even depending how you feel about 2016, I guess. But I'm just always annoyed when people are like, yeah, you know, I turned 50 and I just skydived and it really put it all in perspective, hey? I stopped snorting Elmer's glue and started looking after my kids. Well, that's cool, but that doesn't mean that, like, everybody needs to skydive to hit that level. For some people, some people's lives were changed by, like, Batman vs. Superman, the film, okay? And even though I think that that movie's not very good, if that's where you found the meaning in your life, and that put things in perspective for you, you're like, oh, I gotta find my own Lois Lane or something like that. You know, by all means, find meaning wherever you can find meaning, and don't let anybody, myself included, drag you down. You love roller coasters? Rock out on the roller coasters. If you hate roller coasters, try them once. You know, when you get the opportunity. Make sure you actually hate them. You don't just hate the idea of them. And then if you still hate them, as I do, don't let anybody make you feel bad for it, okay? Live your own life. Life's too short to try to fit into other people's goals. I had this conversation with Kate recently. Literally yesterday, actually. Not that that's relevant, because it wasn't yesterday by the time this video is going to go up. But, she was like, man, the idea of having, like, a night of the week that's always the same meal, a la a Taco Tuesday or something like that, makes me so sad. Because it's like you're closing yourself off to all these new experiences. And I was like, I don't understand that at all. Because you're closing yourself off to new experiences, but you're also getting one guaranteed order of tacos a week. And that's a huge, like, net gain, in my opinion. It's like, I love tacos. I don't mind, by the way, I'm not a picky eater. I used to be a picky eater in my life, but I actually do not. I'll eat anything. Like, when we were in Japan, I ate some boiled, you know, jelly triangles. It's the best description I can actually use for them. I looked at them, I smelled them, I said, I'm gonna hate this, but you gotta try. You know, when in Rome, and I ate the jelly triangles, and I was like, this tastes like poison. But then there was like a little condiment on the side. I was like, maybe the secret is that you have to eat it with the condiment. So then I ate one with the condiment, and I was like, no, this is just garbage. Like, this is just, I will never like this, and that's fine. But I was like, man, tacos are like, at some point you got a weakest link, lock in, no deal with the devil, huh? You got a weakest link lock in, or bank, as they called it, and then be like, this is what I'm going to get on Tuesdays. Tacos are pretty good. Plus, you got 6 more days. Just because you have Taco Tuesdays doesn't mean you can't have, you know, Boiled Triangle Wednesdays, right? What I worry about is that people always glamorize not having a routine. They're like, well, I'm like a guy who's spontaneous. It's like spontaneity is really dope when you wake up in the morning. Oh, Tammy's head has totally redeemed itself. And again, if you're spontaneous and like in a productive fashion, I'm not talking about you. But the thing is like whenever anybody goes, you know, I like spontaneity, they're thinking of it doesn't have to be a dude, could be a lady as well. They're thinking of the person who wakes you up at like 8 in the morning and is like, hey honey, I love you. I just got us first class tickets to Amsterdam. Let's go. It's your birthday. You only turned 32 and a half once, right? And then you get on the airplane and you're drinking champagne and you're like, I love this dude. What you're not thinking of is the times where you're like, hey honey, the power got cut off because I forgot to pay the electrical bill. That's pretty spontaneous too. You know, oh sorry, we were at Amsterdam, I forgot to pay the electrical bill. Somebody's got to pay the electrical bill. I'm okay with that being my lot in life. I'm the kind of dude who's like, you know, if I become an accountant, that seems pretty sweet. You're helping people, you're working with numbers, you know, you have a relatively stable job. That's cool to me, man. Whenever I see people that have, like, you know, a pension, I'm like, you're the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. You got a pension. You're so cool that the job that you're doing right now is valuable enough that the company you work for is like, you know what? I'm gonna pay you even when you don't work here. That's how fucking cool you are. That's the coolest shit on the planet. You know how valuable society thinks you are? Anyway, if you want to be like a stunt car driver, that's totally fine. And I hope that you reap the benefits that society has implanted into people that makes them think you're super cool because you're going to be a stunt car driver. But you should still, like, endeavor to be a good person, first and foremost. And secondly, I see through your fucking ruse, okay? I don't think you're that cool. You know what's cool? Being a pipe fitter. Alright, I'm heading up to the next floor here. We're going to be fine. We got Tammy's Head Brimstone. This run really came together, thankfully. Largely because of Brimstone, and the wafer doesn't hurt either, but... There were... If you didn't take Chaos on that second floor shop, I think you find this run being a lot tougher. But maybe instead of picking up some of the items that I picked up that weren't that helpful, you pick up some items that are helpful. As always, I'd like to preface anything, or not preface, postface? That doesn't really sound right, but... I'll add as an addendum, anytime I talk about, you know, character judgments or anything like that, that I'm just one mid to late 20s, Joker. It's just one man's opinion. The older I get, the less confident I become in my opinions, and I think that's a relatively common experience. You know, there's that, I think it's a Mark Twain quote. He says, you know, the older I get, the smarter my parents become. And of course, it's paraphrasing, but the joke, or the gist of that is not that your parents are really getting smarter year after year, but that you're getting smart enough to realize that you were dumb and they were smart when you were arguing with them when you were like 12. We have a library? Right, of course we have a library because we have to get the Bible. Let's pop Joker here. And I think that that's true. If that's not true, like in your own life, you're doing something wrong. You should really feel like you're getting a lot smarter year after year. Probably like quintuple. I'm 5 times smarter at 27 than I was at 26. And by the way, you might think that when I said mid to late 20s, you know, I'm projecting. I'm like trying to protect myself from getting old. I don't feel like 27 is that old in today's world for the first part. If you're watching this and you're 14, I'm double your age. But from my perspective, you know, it all... You finish high school, and high school doesn't really count because you're like, you know, it's high school. And then you go to college, and that's, you know, largely, mostly pretty fun for a lot of people. And then you got a couple of years of figuring yourself out in the real world, and bam, 27. So, you know, what I'm getting at is you're going to wake up and you're going to be there. Just like that song that I talk about not really liking that much. Once I was 30 years old, now my life is over. Okay, where are we going here? But it's actually just that I don't know where 27 fits in. It's closer to 25 than it is to 30 until you get to like 27 and a half, and then it's closer to 30. But is that really like... I think 27 still counts as mid-20s. 28, 29, late 20s. Doesn't matter, though. Everybody's always asking you for your birthday these days anyway. And all days. And I say I was born in the Year of our 45th Emperor. Okay. Let us kill Isaac, move along. I don't know if this is the start of another streak or just we're having a good time, but either way, I'm pleased with the commentary on this video. This one goes out to all my, you know, thrill shirkers out there. You know, not someone who seeks thrills, someone who shirks thrills and gets their thrills from more domestic proclivities, and that's fine, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Guppy's head. We are not Guppy, though. What's our extra life here? It's Lazarus? Fuck it, let's go for broke, man. Let's do this. It's one of, like, the few situations that's actually not a guaranteed win, because Tammy's Head Brimstone, you know, on one room is not really worth that much. But Tammy's Head Brimstone is obviously, like, very good in general. Why is our rate of fire so slow? Okay, so now we have Revenge Fly, which is awesome. Or at least quite good. Just wait for that to die. And we also have Bloody Lust every time we get hit. Plus we have the Wafer, so it's extremely conceivable that we will get to a nice damage bonus here before we're in a very dicey position ourselves. And this is a good way to... I think we're getting this started on the right foot, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now, where do we use... Tammy's Head Brimstone? I mean, oh, Gimpy is actually paid out. Probably, like, on that wave would have been ideal. If not on that wave, I guess we just... Like, there's no reason to use it against an Angel, because I'm pretty sure that one hit and a little bit of Fly Love is going to crush it. So instead, I think you just use it like when we get to the second phase, and hopefully that'll roast them pretty hard. Thanks to Polyphemus, our rate of fire is like really, really bad. So I'm trying not to shoot, but we just should have shot. That's probably a little obvious in hindsight, but what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Alright, this is a good video. I had a good time with it, and maybe if I say that enough, you'll just believe that that's the case. We're gonna get real close here, and then we're just gonna do that, and you're not dead, which is amazing to me, but now you are. Sweet! Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed our shirking of thrills, and also our shirking of the post-streak hangover. For now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.